Welcome to Best Kept Secrets Travel, episode 9. My name's Morgan.
And I'm Will, and on today's episode, we're going to be talking about how to stay fit and healthy whilst you're travelling. Let's roll the intro.
Best friends, and that's for life. Who stay traveling? I'm talking worldwide, 65 countries between the two. Every moment is so unbelievable. Sharing the best kept secrets about the trips and mistakes they made that they can't forget. So tell me if you're ready for a time to remember as they gear up for the next adventure. Yeah. Woo! Best kept secrets travel.
So, Will, what makes you think that we have any foot to stand on about being fit and healthy when travelling?
We've made
lots of mistakes
of what not to do, so we know what to do if you're trying to stay fit and healthy, or if we're not going to outright say just don't do this. You are on holiday, enjoy it, but if you're going on a very much prolonged holiday, if you're going on a big gap year, you're taking 6 to 12 months out.
5 years.
It's a lot more prolonged. If it's a weekend, if it's a week, then you've got a lot more tolerance. You might as well treat yourself a little bit more. But if you're 5 weeks, 6 weeks, even in that period of time of consumption of certain things, or doing things a certain way, or not doing things, then your body's going to take a lot more of a toll, and you'll physically and visibly see it a lot more.
Of course, so if you focus a lot on staying healthy in your general life and you're worried about doing that when you travel, this is quite a good episode for you to listen to.
And if you don't stay fit and healthy in your general life, this is also a good video for you to listen to, because actually you going on a travel, sometimes a lot of people will use it as a good kickstart to a detox, or they might go away, let's say, to Croatia or a training camp, and they might just want to focus on yoga and fitness and eating fresh fruit and vegetables or fish and less red meat and certain things like that. So actually this episode is great for anyone, but as Morgan said, if you're fit and healthy in your normal life, this is good for you. If you're not fit and healthy in your normal life, this is good for you. So send it to all your families and friends, because they will fit into that bracket as well as your enemies.
So point number 1, and I think we're probably not great at this. Well, we're great at part of it, but it's
our weakest one.
Yeah, junk food and alcohol.
I think.
And that's not do it to stay healthy.
We're talking about limitations here, about when to have it, when not to have it, or whether to have it at all.
So when you travel, you get tired and hungry, and that quite often makes people want to go to comfort foods, or if you've been travelling for a while and you're in a country that's a completely different culture to you, you may see a McDonald's and go, reminds me of home.
Or you just think, I'm really craving that. I've been on the road for a long time. But when we're talking about this, I think one of our best stories is actually New Zealand. The road trip is probably one of the times we drank the least.
Because we're driving.
But our actual food we consumed could have been healthier. We were pretty good on breakfast,
Could have been 2-star health rating, maybe.
We could have been healthier. So, because we were on a road trip, we were so conscious about being zero tolerance on drink driving, as should everyone, that we didn't drink in the day unless we knew we weren't driving afterwards that day. We were very, very strict. So sometimes we'd do a really big drive in the day, do a few activities on the route. Then we got to a place and we're then watching
Disney
just bed or
and
whatever
drink beer.
It was.
Yeah.
We might have a can of beer, but we weren't going out and binging pint after pint after pint, which is very different. Whereas some holidays, if you're not doing all the driving and you're getting taxied around Asia or something, it's a lot easier. Oh, look, we get noodles here. Oh, look, the beer's really cheap. We'll then just have another beer. And then I think that's a bad cycle to get into.
Yeah.
But we're not trying to say it like, we've always been perfect. We have fallen victim to a lot of this. When we were in Australia, we weren't.
I know, the whole point is we're awful at this. Every time Will comes out on one of my trips, my alcohol consumption increases and I start putting on weight.
Because I worry when I see Morgan, I think, oh God, he's lost so much weight. He won't eat all the food I tell him to, but he'll drink the beer. So just try and limit your food and alcohol consumption, because this is one of the key things over a prolonged period of time will have the largest
Junk
effect.
food. Limit your junk food.
Junk food.
And junk
crisp, sweet, and just poor
junk
and
and drunk food.
Yes, and drunk food. Very easy to have cheese.
Although
and chips.
kebabs in Vietnam are fantastic.
So it's just about limiting those.
Mm.
We're not saying don't do it. Enjoy your holiday, but if you're going for a prolonged period of time, that should be in the back of your mind a lot more.
Mm-hmm. And moving on to point number 2 is stay active. Now this can be very easy for you to go on a trip and you're having, like, you've had weeks of really tough time at work and you just want to rest, which is fine. So you just go find a beach and lie there. But that, at the same time, especially if it's for a longer trip, it's not the best.
Mm.
It's not the best. And
Easy to sit on a beach and just have cocktails or beers after another, and you're just lying there like a beach seal.
Yeah, and for me, I don't go through many steps in my normal working day. It's good if I break 2,000. So this is definitely something I need to work on in normal life as well as travel life.
Yeah, I think even if you're on a beach, then if you know you're going to be on a beach for 4 hours, why not get up and go for a walk along the beach? Try and get to the next pier or the next block or whatever and come back. Just actually do something. Go for a swim in the sea. Go out in kayak. You don't just have to sit around.
And we've spoken about this. I know we've spoken about this before, but we haven't. Neither of us have tried it yet. Is you once spoke about bringing a skipping rope.
Yeah.
Traveling.
Yeah, we've spoken about that. It's hard to fit that into the one bag only rule because certain airports will take it away from you.
Well, you just tie it around the bag. It's string to keep.
Yeah, and then this is the argument which some people come up with is a lot of the skipping ropes now have a wire internally.
No.
A lot of the skipping ropes now have a wire internally. So then they ping them up and they go, oh, but you could easily like strangle someone with this. And then everyone just... The forums I've read about people saying this is they then turn around and just get out all their phone chargers and they're like, why wouldn't you take these away then? Because this is a plastic coated wire, effectively, which you could do the exact same thing with. So I don't know. We need to try it at some point.
Yeah.
Willingly lose a skipping rope.
Yeah. I mean, they're not expensive, so...
No, they're not. And you don't have to buy an expensive one. But I think just thinking about being active, don't just sit around the whole holiday. And actually, you'll feel better for it. You'll feel like you've achieved something. You feel like you've moved around. You'll sleep better that night.
Well, and also, by walking around, you get the opportunity to explore and see more things. So if you come to a new city and walk around it, we in Barcelona came and found the beer tasting bar. Ye Olde.
Now, then talking about alcohol.
We didn't drink.
Stay active.
We didn't
find beer.
We didn't drink the beer. We just went inside and sat and watched everyone else drink it.
Yeah, obviously. Okay,
And
that was only a 3-day long holiday.
Yeah, so that makes it okay. That makes it okay. So McDonald's for every meal now. But so moving on to point number 3, just to get us out of this hole, is hygiene and washing your hands.
I think there's there are quite a few.
Why?
Quite a few reasons why I think hygiene's a good one. When you're travelling, especially in hostels, you will come across some very disgusting, unhygienic individuals or groups, and it's very easy to pass around a bug. Especially now, I think people understand hygiene a bit more. More people are wearing masks and sanitising, but bugs can pass around in a very close hostile environment very, very quickly. And if you're hygienic, then you're not going to get the deli belly, as some people may know it. The squits is another term.
A funny tummy.
Yeah. The excuse for Morgan's favourite medication.
Imodium.
Yes. So hygiene can stop that happening, which will then make you enjoy your day. You don't want to have deli belly whilst out on a hike or skydiving. You don't want to...
What falls faster?
just And also with hygiene comes, I've known of travellers who have been hospitalised due to poor hygiene.
Oh, very much so.
And picking up bugs which have then.
But it's not
left them in
just.
hospital.
It's also not just hygiene of yourself. It's the hygiene of the people around you cooking your food.
Yeah, very easy. Which is why I'd rather be cooking.
So yeah, you'd rather be cooking. You'd rather be eating pad thais in Bangkok.
Yeah, that wasn't a good decision. I was very tired. I was 20 to 24 hours awake at that point, and my stomach was speaking instead of my brain.
Which we've already spoken about this episode. Happens.
And yeah, and that would just lead to bad events potentially happening, whether you get it, people on transport on big buses then suddenly get the squits and it's awful, or on planes, boats, whatever, you're doing an activity.
Always carry
you
a
can lose
Imodium
weight
instant.
really quickly. You can get dehydrated really quickly and end up in hospital. It's just hygiene plays a very big role in
General
your
life and health.
general life and health, but actually making sure the holiday goes as planned.
That is true. That is true. Yep. Number 4. Drink agua. Drink lots of water. And you have to be careful as well how you do this in some countries.
Yes. There are very many cases when you're buying water in certain countries.
To not drink it out of the sea.
Just to make more money or because they can't afford to buy the product in the first place, which is a completely different topic, but certain sellers in certain countries have been known to get old plastic bottles of water and then refill it with tap water and then just screw on the cap lid and hope that the purchaser doesn't notice, or they twist it on and try and stick some super glue. So if you are buying water in certain countries, be very cautious. Also, if you're in a restaurant in a third world country, typically it is sadly best to ask for no ice as well if you're getting a glass.
And it
because
melts
a lot of ice is
so
made with the
quickly.
tap water there, which isn't up to the same standards as we get in the likes of England.
Yeah, so if you are getting ice, you make sure that it's not from the tap water. Because you can ask for that specifically.
Yeah, but
And hope.
I just avoid it anyway because then you get more drink in your glass.
Yeah, so I guess another tip would be to take a refillable water bottle.
Refillable water bottles are good, but then you are in certain countries
in
great,
certain places.
but then in other countries, sadly, you should get bottled water, which I know with environmental awareness isn't the best option. And we did find that in Peru; they didn't have tap water everywhere; everything was plastic bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Which for a country which trying to promote looking after the environment and their love of
Some of
Pachamama,
the time.
it was kind of interesting that plastic bottles were just everything.
Very
So
much so.
But so staying hydrated, one of the key things, as we just stated with the hygiene and getting the squits, or the funny tummy, or the deli belly, or whatever you want to call it.
Explosive catfish.
Dehydration will lead to lots of problems. If you're hiking,
Agreed.
dehydration is very dangerous. Dehydration, if you're in a hot country, is very dangerous. Dehydration overall is not a good thing and can easily lead to you being hospitalised.
And death.
Potentially.
And moving on to our exciting and final 5th point, we have, and this is not a problem. It's a big problem with. I'd say it's part of British culture, or the
Gingers?
lack of this, and it's tea drinkers. No, it's wearing sun cream.
Gingers, this also applies to you. You're just thinking, I don't want to be cancelled by a bunch of gingers, well.
Wearing sun cream when in hot places, and making sure that you don't get sunburn. And this is something that
Leads to skin cancer.
leads to skin. It's just skin cancer. That's
And everything else. We've seen, what have we seen on our holidays? We've seen a lot of people peeling because of sunburn. And
Yeah.
that's grim in its own right and not good. And once again, sadly, the big skin cancer comes out. Blistering is
blistering. I blister and
worse.
peel all the time.
Blister?
Mhm.
I mean, like, blister,
Yeah, no,
blister.
actual blister. Yeah,
Do you?
yeah, reasonably regularly, and I try so hard to avoid it.
Why don't you put on sun cream?
I do. It's just
Higher.
I have like 2 strands of ginger beard, so I have like
Bad skin.
yeah,
Is that it?
very much so.
I get ginger beard and I don't.
But in Vietnam we had lots of sun cream. We didn't think that by going down all the inflatable water slides that would rub all the sun cream off, which was very intelligent of us. And then we became very sunburned, all of us, and we had a load of Vietnamese locals just laughing at us whilst we were walking down the street. It was almost like they were embarrassed for us, albeit it's a very British thing. And then we get back to the hostel and they were panicking because we were so sunburned.
Because you're that... Is this where they started grinding up the aloe vera fresh plant and putting it on you?
Yeah, this is where they were rubbing the actual aloe vera plant on us and trying to fix us.
That's quite funny.
And this is shortly before 2 people in our group actually got the squits or the funny tummy or the deli belly whilst we're extremely sunburned. And on the same day, there was a power... This all happened on the same day. There was a power cut, which meant that the hostel flooded, and one of the people with us, who was one of the people who got a bad stomach, was having a haircut, and during the power cut, well, they were just like, yep, your haircut's done now, that's it. Halfway through his cut, so he ended up having to just use his beard trimmer and shave it all off because it looked awful. It was...
That's bad.
That place was dangerous for us.
So yeah, that's what can happen with sunburn. That's how bad it is. And just take care. You don't want to ruin your holiday for such simple, small things. Make sure as well with sun cream, if you're doing the 1 bag only rule, which we do preach, is that you are
100
taking
mil.
a 100 ml bottle or just purchase it when you get to the country.
I would always say purchase when you get to the country in general, just because it saves space.
And different countries have different rules on sun cream. Hawaii's got the majority of sun cream in the world is illegal in Hawaii. Has to be coral reef safe, because most sun cream when you go swimming will damage coral reefs.
Makes sense. That is reasonable. But with lots of these points, well, not all of them. Hygiene go up there, but the alcohol and junk food, take with a pinch of salt. Try and do it, but
I don't recommend salt in your beer.
But salt works with tequila fine, so just take it with a pinch of salt and enjoy yourself still. Don't be super strict. Still drink if you want to drink.
Enjoy the holiday, but just take caution. This is our word of caution.
A word of caution. That sounds interesting.
Look at it, I think it's time.
I think it's time to just
roll the
outro.
Yeah, let's make it happen. I hope that you can handle going on adventures, best kept secret travels. Yeah, all over the globe, having fun, you know the deal. Amazing secret locations, hang out with Morgan and Will. Educate and entertain, haggle in the market, sharing their experiences. Time to get it started. Let's go.